Hey everyone, Nick's Reviews here again. Today we've got a 2022 Mazda CX-30. This one here is the Evolve version, so let's jump in. So this one here with a 2 litre 4-cylinder has 114 kilowatts, so decent power, and it has a regular torque converter automatic, 7 speeds I believe, and has paddle shifters as well, so you can manually control them. And it's, got decent power. There's actually 4 different engine types that you get with this car. So you've got a 2 litre 4-cylinder, which is what this car has. You can get a 2.5 litre 4-cylinder, and then there's also 2 mild hybrid systems that you can get, which are quite interesting. You've got some cool looking 18-inch wheels here with a kind of gunmetal grey colour, and also the exterior colour of this car is a platinum quartz, kind of like a slight tinge of gold to it, which looks really nice in the sunlight. And just on the design of this car, it's a relatively new design for Mazda, and also in their fleet of cars. I think most of their cars are going in this sort of direction in terms of design language, and it looks quite modern, almost looks like a coupe, kind of like coupe design for SUVs, sloping roofline, and it looks really good. And also in terms of size, this kind of sits in between the CX-3 and the CX-5. I wanted to talk about how many specs there are available for the CX-30. It's completely mental. So you've got 8 different versions, 8 different specifications for the front wheel drive, and you've got another 4 for the all wheel drive here. So let's just quickly rattle them off here. So you've got the G20 Pure, you've got the G20 Evolve, you've got the G20 Touring, you've got the G20 Touring SP, you've got the G20 Estina, you've got the G25 Touring, you've got the G25 Touring SP, you've got the G25 Estina. Then you go into all wheel drives, you've got G25 Touring, you've got G25 Touring SP, G25 Estina, and X20 Estina. So I don't know why there's so many specs here. Most of these are just have the vision package included as standard, premium audio systems, things like that, leather interiors when you get to the higher trim levels. It's just insane. Why does there need to be this many trim levels, you know? You've got full LED headlights with this car. You've also got LED turn signals. You've got LED taillights as well here, and LED indicators. And they kind of do like a nice little pulsing animation, which is really cool. With the Pure and Evolve models, you do have halogen daytime running lights, not LED. So if you wanted those, you'd have to get the Touring or above. With the Evolve, you've got rear parking sensors here, and you've also got a rear reversing camera. There is an option to get a vision package, which gives you a 360 camera, but this one's not fitted with it. You've also got a manual tailgate as well with this one. So no power operation, but you can get them on the higher trim levels like the Estina. You've also got power folding mirrors, which is great. When you unlock the car, it automatically folds open. You can also manually close or open them from the inside. Now we're in the interior of the Mazda CX-30, and I just want to point out that Mazda in recent years have kind of gone for a more upscale feel for their interiors and just the touch points and everything. You know, with this particular car, you've got nice leather, you've got nice stitching as well on the dashboard. Pretty much everywhere you've got nice stitching on steering wheel as well. Everything kind of just feels really upscale, and I think, you know, Mazda of the past were kind of cheap and nasty, and that's not really the case anymore. Everything's really nice and feels solid. All the buttons feel nice to press. It's really good. In terms of storage, you've got a nice big center glove box here. So if you can see in here, you've got 2 USB ports, you've got a cigarette style outlet here as well, and you've got a center divider here to kind of split things up if you'd like. And the lid of this also doubles as a kind of armrest, which you can slide backwards and forwards, which is nice. You've got some decent storage in the doors here. You can fit a drink bottle in here, and then you've also got your glove box here, which is nicely sized. You've got some lighting controls here as well. You've got your map lights. You can control whether the lights come on when your doors are open, so you can turn them both on as well, which is nice. Then you've also got some storage here for sunglasses, you can see here, which is nice to have. Just on the climate control vents, they are quite far down on the dashboard, which is a bit odd. They're kind of underneath the kind of lip here, so they're tucked away here, but they do provide decent circulation, whereas the driver's ones are more traditionally placed a bit higher up. We've got a semi-digital gauge cluster here. You've got 2 analog gauges on the left and right of the cluster here. You've got a rev counter, and you've also got your engine temperature and fuel gauge, which are all fixed and analog. Then in the center, you've got a screen here, so you can cycle through You've got a traditional speedometer here, but it is a screen, so you can cycle through various driving info. You've got a picture of the actual car in a lane, and it kind of gives you info of people in your blind spot. It'll highlight that if you're veering out of your lane as well. And you've also got a digital speedometer as well at the top. It also gives you information like the current speed limit in your area or the road that you're on, your range for fuel, just things like that. To the right of the steering wheel, you've got a few buttons. You've got a button here for the start stop, which Mazda call I-stop. Unfortunately, with this one, once you turn the car off, that doesn't stay to the setting that you had when the car was on. So if you've turned it off, you have to turn it off every time you get into the car and start the car, which is quite annoying. You've also got traction control button there. You've got your parking sensors off, and then also your blind spot monitoring off button. On the driver's door as well, you've got your controls for your mirrors. Fold them in as well if you'd like, and then all 4 windows here. Steering wheel controls here, you've got your volume up and down, you've got your next track, previous track. Also got some controls for voice control. You've got a button here to cycle through the gauge cluster. Lane keep assist, cruise control buttons here. In this car as well, you've got an awesome heads-up display that gives you your current speed and then also the speed limit of the road that you're on. And then if you've also got navigation on at the time, it gives you arrows to kind of tell you what turns to take, which is really handy. Delving into the infotainment here, I mentioned before that it isn't a touchscreen, so it does involve a bit more effort to kind of cycle through things, and I think it's quite a bit of a shame that it's not a touchscreen. I think it's more distracting to kind of have to use these controls down here in the center and cycle through everything. You know, it is fairly intuitive. You can do everything you need to do. And nothing beats having a touchscreen right in front of you within reach and to just go through everything easily. But that's the way Mazda wants to do things, and nothing really we can do about it. So going through everything here, you got your FM, your Bluetooth audio, everything you can do here. You got built-in navigation as well, which looks really good. Nice detail here. You can see even provides some detail of the river that we're right next to, which is nice. And then this is what Apple CarPlay looks like. So it's still easy to cycle through everything, but you know, it would be nice if it was a touchscreen. So then we'll go back here to the home, and this is the settings. So you can, you know, play around with various settings here, you know, your stereo settings, various beeps and sounds that you can adjust the volume of, blind spot monitoring, things like that, and your lighting as well, which is really good. This is what the reversing camera looks like. Nice and high quality and high resolution. You got some lines there, but it doesn't turn when you turn the steering wheel, which is fine. If you had the vision package installed, you'd also have a 360 view on this side as well, but we don't have that one on this car here. But overall, nice quality. And some additional safety features you have with this car: blind spot monitoring and radar guided cruise control, which you can see is nicely integrated into the logo there and not some ugly rectangle. Now in the back seat of the CX-30, and there's an okay amount of room back here. I did mention before that it's kind of got more of a coupe style, so you are robbed a bit of headroom and just overall room around the pillars and things like that. But you've got a decent amount of room here for adults. You know, you've got a center armrest here with a couple of cup holders. It's nice. You've also got some creature comforts like climate control vents here that you can use to cool or heat your rear passengers. You can see we've got cloth seats here on the front and second row. To get leather seats, you do have to get the Touring or above. If you get the Pure or the Evolve, you do get cloth seats, just to keep in mind. You've got 317 litres of cargo space back here. That's with the second row still up. Unfortunately, you don't have any sort of cubbies or small storage pockets here, but you do have decent room. The second row, as you can see there, splits into a 60-40 split, and that gives you a ton of room there. Unfortunately, there's no latch or anything back here to fold them down, so you do have to do them from the second row, but very practical. Now it's time to drive the Mazda CX-30. So what's it like to drive, hey? Like I said before, you've got a traditional torque converter automatic, which feels nice. You don't have any CVT rubbish like that, which is good. So it's very smooth to drive. You've also got paddle shifters here behind the steering wheel that you can cycle through here. And you can whack it in manual mode down here in the transmission lever. And yeah, you can just cycle through all the gears. all 7 speeds, which is great. In terms of comfortability and ride, it's quite nice. It's not too harsh, it absorbs all the bumps. Very nice, and it's got decent acceleration as well, 114 kilowatts. It's not a lot, but it's good for everyday driving and, you know, highway driving, overtaking, things like that. And also you do have blind spot monitoring, which is always great to have. Nice safety features. You've got rear cross traffic alert. You've got lane keep assist as well, so if you veer off the lane, it'll pull you back in, which is nice. Decent amount of safety equipment here. Testing out the turning circle here. So we're going to do a U-turn. It's not too bad. There are cars with tighter turning circles, but given the size of this car, small SUV, it's pretty good. Let's quickly do an acceleration test here. Very nice, nice and quick. This is a front wheel drive car, so I could feel the front wheels trying to get grip there. Didn't really know what to do, but you can get this as an all-wheel drive as well, which would definitely help with traction. Just when I was doing the acceleration test there before, I noticed that the engine's a little bit louder for this car. So I feel like Mazdas in particular have a quite loud engine. It doesn't have a CVT, which is weird, but yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. Thanks for watching the review of this Mazda. If you enjoyed the video, drop us a like below, and if you want to see more reviews from me in the future, consider subscribing, and yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers guys.